Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here in Erlengrat. We're going to be close to... well, we're definitely going to be over 40. I don't know how much we get for a single bale. We'll see how many bales we... with 7,000 euros then from those bales. Going to be interesting to see how much this one single solitary bale does get us. We've got enough time. 1943... we have just enough time to head down there and go and get that one, and then it is going to be Betty Buy's time. And I'm hoping that on our second day on Erlengrat, I realise that it's taken us a couple of weeks to get to the end of the first day, but I'm sure that will be fine. I don't imagine anybody's going to mind that too much. We will hopefully... it does depend on the contracts. It does depend how we do the contract, because like if we're getting all the fertilizer and stuff done, and we're just hanging around and waiting for stuff to grow, I've got the slowest growth speed on the map, which means that we're not going to necessarily be getting that many contracts coming up from this point on. I have... I will have some, like, we go and do the... we got harvest jobs to do. I think we've actually got a harvest job for this field of sunflowers right next to us. I think that is one job that is there available. If it is, that's actually going to be pretty cool. So let's fold you up like this. One single solitary bale. Yeah, we get that sunflower job. And then once we've done that harvest job, obviously that we're going to be getting more jobs to come out, cultivate the field, possibly plough the field first, I don't really know. Plant it, put some more fertilizer on it. Those sorts of things. So we will have a collection of jobs that we will be able to go and do on some of the land, but once we've gone round and like done all the fertilizer contracts, there's gonna be more of a limit on what jobs will become available. We can refresh contracts, we can do that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna have more work available, because there's only gonna be contracts showing... ooh, I need to have that on. We're only gonna have contracts showing for jobs that, you know, work that is actually available in the fields. So if we've gone and spread fertilizer everywhere and it doesn't go forward a growth stage, then there isn't going to be more fertilizer needed to be applied. I'm not going to have farmers bringing up and asking me to do it. I've got a fertilizer job to do up here that I can if I want to on field 7, but honestly it... oops, okay, I really didn't mean to do that. At this point right here, like that tiny little field in there, it's hardly worth a bother, is it? Like that, it's... yes, we could go and do it. Now that right there does indicate to me that perhaps we shouldn't be driving down here, right? This is quite possibly a pedestrian walkway, and I shouldn't be coming in here. This is very, very possibly a pedestrian walk. What is this bit that I'm looking at right here in front of me? Oh, that's the animal dealership there, and then we've got the barn over there. Question. Is this a place for us to drive through? Do you consider this to be somewhere to drive through? It doesn't really look like it's best suited for driving through. I'll be honest with you on that one. I've kind of been a little bit... wondering whether or not I should even be doing this. Or should I only be able to sell the bales there if I reverse into this bit? Get in the comment section and tell me on that one. Do you think I should have to back in every time, or am I going to be allowed to drive down the back down there and then in order to like sort of turn round on this bit? I don't really know. I'm kind of thinking that maybe I shouldn't be driving along there. It's clearly marked as a pedestrian access. Now, how much do we get for one bale? 784. With most of that last load, then, we actually ended up selling. It was the majority of that last load we did end up selling if we're getting 780 euros per bale. Because we had over 7,000 euros for that. So I'm thinking... we had probably 9 bales that we sold out of the 16 in total that were on there. Put you up there like that. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go here. And finally, I'm going to collect that one there. 9,200. And we are done. 42,000 euros for the end of our first day. And... Probably shouldn't be parked up in the middle of a field that we don't own. Probably shouldn't be. This one needs ploughing and it needs lime. But as far as I know, ploughing and lime doesn't affect grass. Now, I'm not 100% sure on that. I know how the game works now, because we found that out. Somebody told me, explained how it works in... if you turn off the requirement, it still shows up on the map, but the game doesn't check with the map. The map checks and sees if it does potentially need it, but then the game, when it's checking to see what the yields should be, it doesn't check what the map is saying. It checks things behind the scenes. So even though it's got it written up there saying quite clearly that it needs it, if the game setting in the background is saying it doesn't need it, then it doesn't come up. But I don't know about if, like, I've got it switched on at the moment. I've got lime and ploughing requirements on. I don't know if that affects grass yield. I don't think it does. I think it would be a similar kind of process in that it wouldn't affect yield. Now, it has been suggested that I should... Is that a hotel right there? It has been suggested that I should be paying to stay in... Oh, that's a chocolatier. Right, we're not going to sleep in the chocolatiers. That... Hugen Tobler. I don't know what that is. I'm looking for a hotel. She's looking for a place to stay for the night. We're looking for a hotel. I mean, we could have a cheap B&B somewhere. Be more sort of what we would want, I would guess. Castlereagh. Is that a hotel? Looking at this. Well, it's not so... I can't drive into there anyway. I know that much. I got a parking space over here. So, I mean, what we can do is we can say that we're parking up over here somewhere like that for the night. And we're cheap B&B in one of these houses. Now, people have said that I should be taking money off for every night that I don't own any land. I might end up knocking a little bit off somewhere. You did like the idea of me buying a load of weights and then altering the price on them so that I can sell them automatically should something go wrong as like a fine that I'm paying out. So I may do something like that. But anyway, it's nighttime. It's very peaceful here at nighttime. Hear dogs barking in the background. You can see the lights lit up there. You can actually see the flashing beacons on the top of the cable car as that runs up and down the mountain. I've just gone through midnight and I've got no expenses whatsoever have come up either. So at the moment we have nothing that we need to concern ourselves with. If we make money, we are able to mostly keep it. Morning is upon us. I'm going to leave that one down parked up there for now. The people in the shop in here said that that's quite acceptable for us to do. So we're going to just take a little bit of a mosey on over this way. And you've got a glorious kind of approach to everything all up and down the valley. Let's slow things down a bit. So it's 7 a.m. It's a bright and beautiful morning. We've got the early morning mists kind of hanging over the valley a bit as well, which is very realistic. I love the way that looks. I've had people, I've seen people saying that this kind of effect in the mornings is just not realistic. You don't ever get that anywhere in real life, and this genuinely confused me because where I live, you get that every morning. And, well... If it's not raining. If it's raining, it's a little bit different. But if it's a bright, sunny day, that is what it looks like early in the morning, right? It's mist like this, and you'll get this kind of haze hanging over. It's just that the mist's starting to lift up as it warms up. And that will clear away by 9, 10 o'clock. But, you know, if the conditions are right, that mist can be quite heavy. And it's just literally the dew kind of like starting to... evaporate and like just go up into the atmosphere a little bit, but you get this like haze hanging over just as the morning sunlight starts to warm up large areas that have been cold all night. And it's absolutely gorgeous. Certain times of the year is far more pronounced than others, and you will get this to, like, it's the way that the sunlight comes through it. I heard so many criticisms about this on, especially on the Felsbrunn map, where it was done quite pronounced. And I would read quite a few criticisms about it on the Facebook groups, and this astounded me because I see this all the time. I genuinely do. And so I was like, how is this not realistic? If it is absolutely realistic. And I got sort of called, I was being called a fanboy and, liar and all sorts. But yeah, I don't get that. I really don't. Just because you don't see it where you are doesn't mean that it doesn't happen in other places in the world. And that right there is what it looks like early in the morning where I live, right? I mean, we don't have mountains like that. We have hills, not mountains, so it's a lot lower down than that, but still, it's the same kind of effect. Anyway, we need to do some work. We have got 42,192 euros to our name right now. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the weeds are starting to become a problem in the valley. Weeds are starting to become a slight issue here in the valley. Just a little tiny smidgen. That is the plot of land that we have our beady little eyes set upon, and that is the first plot of land that we want to buy, despite the fact that that one there is 100,000, that one there is only 92,000. This one is almost 30,000 more than that one down there. However, it's more than 30,000 more, actually. However, we're going to buy that one because this is the only one that we are allowed to put some, to build on. Whereas, I mean, those are more expensive. But these two, despite being cheaper, I can't go and build anything on them, so it's utterly pointless me buying them. I'm not even allowed to use them for long-term storage of machinery. I can maybe park one or two on the edge, but even that is going to be frowned upon if I'm using it as a parking area, because I'm sort of developing it into a parking area, and they're very strict on their arable development laws in this particular region. So we got to buy that. We have no choice. That has got to be our first purchase right there, and then we might purchase a couple of deck chairs to while away the night on, rather than sleeping in a hotel. But you're not going to be happy with me doing that, are you? So we're going to need to we're going to need to buy a house. I'm not going to put up a tent like I did in Boulder Canyon, but we may get away with a caravan. We may be allowed to put up a caravan. I don't know. Mobile home type situation. What do you think? Am I allowed to do that or not? Let me know. Contract work. Let's have a look. What do we got? That's the contracts there. I have got harvesting, spraying, weeding, and weeding. So we've got two different weeding jobs for two different people. Field 5 right there. He wants me to weed. Field 5 is that one up there. We've done a lot of work on Field 5. The bit that I don't like about that particular contract is that I've got probably the slowest tractor in the game, and that is about as far away as we can get from where we start. So it's a tedious old task just getting there. So I'm not sure about that one. And also, we're going to get 987 euros. Use your own equipment or lease equipment for a reward reduced by 700 euros. That leaves me with 286 euros for the job. By the time I pay someone to do the work, we're looking at maybe 200 euros. It's really not worth it. This one here, Field 4, 785. I'm looking at maybe a 250 euro profit. That is Field 4, which is all the way up there. I gotta be honest with you, it doesn't look like weeding is actually going to be something that I want to do. Like, seriously, 785 reduction on just 1,100 euros coming in. And then you got to add wages on top of that. So you say 200 euros, there's 900. I'm looking at maybe 150 euros profit in that job. It does keep the neighbors happy. I mean, maybe we need to also consider that. We need to consider that we need to keep people happy. Make a decision, Frith. Come on, you're just staring at the screen now. This is not what people want. Right, Field 16, that's the sunflowers down over there. Field 3, Field 25, Field 11. 25 is all the way up there. Field 3 is a big field. That's all the way over there. 11 is that one. That's pretty close, and so is 16. So we've got 16 and 11. And 3. I'm actually liking these potentials. 18. 18. What is 18? 18. 18 is there. That's also quite close. Right, 11, 18. These two right here. That's not that far that we have to drive. It's a shame it's not... Oh, well, 19 is actually a different field. I don't want to do that one. What have we got then? That is corn taking to the mill. That one is wheat taking to grain mill. Felsborough grain mill. We've got to load that onto the train. Felsborough grain mill, Felsborough grain mill, Felsborough grain mill. They're all to the grain bar. Every single one of these jobs has got to go to the grain mill. We may end up like completing all of these jobs all at once. The only problem with taking them to the grain mill is that if you put all of the grain into the train and then send it off, you don't get any extra money, right? So we have to sort of have a guess at how much we want to keep back in order to be able to get like the little bit of excess coming in off of these jobs. And we're going to be wanting those little bits of excess. This one here gives us the most money. It's the biggest field. That was not far behind. Let's start with this one. We will borrow items. We'll go field 16 and we're going to borrow these items. So we're going to go into there. And the first thing I want to do is I want to get that combine. I don't need to, like, this is going to be a fairly simple one to get going because I don't need to hook anything onto a trailer. I can just have that one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be careful about sending off the grain. I'm going to do that like in little percentage parts until we've got all of it done. And then the remainder I'll like sell to a different place. So I'm going to have to be a little bit careful about how I do it in order that we can actually like profit from some of these bits of grain, you know, profit from the excess bits of grain that we're allowed to do. And that I think that we can still go and do. I've had people saying about that already, that yeah, that would be fine. You know, you're contracted to get a certain amount of grain off of the field. That's quite a normal thing in real life. I've worked for a contractor that has done that. Contracted for a set amount of grain off the field, and then anything more than that is a bonus for them. Unfortunately, anything less than that is something that then they've got to pay for out of their own pocket, which does make life a little bit more difficult. But that's, you know, that's just the way that that's the way the cookie crumbles. It is field 16, so we can go straight on down here. Nice, quick, simple, easy task. Run down here past this grass field that we've already done, and then we can get started. Right, I'm not in the combine, that is out on the road. I have just jumped into a new recording session, and I have installed this new DLC, the Precision Farming. Now, I've been reading up on it a bit, and I'll be honest with you, there isn't a lot that we can do with precision farming at the moment, at least not until we own some of our own land. Right now, we don't own any land, which essentially means that this thing is pretty much useless, but I'll give you a quick rundown on it. What you'll end up with is you get 4 different soil types on your map that require different treatments and so on to get maximum yield. You do soil sampling, you go to the shop and you buy a new machine, and then you go to your field and you do a soil sample, and that will give you a small patch that is sampled, and then you sample another patch and so on until you've done the whole field, and then you send those soil samples away, and you can look on here. See, we've got currently no soil samples to analyze, so we would go across our entire field sampling the soil, and then we can send it off for analysis, and that can be dealt with. We get a pH value, and that can be dealt with lime. Target pH values here, so you've actually got the correct types of pH that you want to get. The pH value can be increased by liming the field. This is recommended every third harvest. By default, the lime spreader automatically adjusts the application rate to the rate required to reach the optimal pH target, but there is also an option to control it manually. Now that is interesting, and that's something that we will take a look at as we build up our own farm, because we can use lime for our organic farming. That is absolutely fine. Now nitrogen, The only way we're going to do that is with manure. We won't be doing it with these. These two won't be happening on our own land. Next, the pH map. You can find the nitrogen maps. Indicates the current level of nitrogen in the ground. The optimal level for nitrogen depends on the planted crop and the soil type, yada, yada, yada. So you've got all of that, and then you can add in your different stuff on it. You've got a yield map that tells you how much you get from the crops. Economic analysis for your stuff. And then there's this one. Now, this one interests me. 2 new buildings available in shop have an RTK antenna on top. This antenna provides a better GPS signal for helpers. As long as one of the new buildings is placed on the map, the accuracy of the helpers is increased and they work up to 11% faster than before. Now that I like that a lot. So when we are able to buy our own land, I'm thinking we should be getting some of that. So we've got this in here. This is a soil type. We don't know anything about it because none of this is our own land and we haven't sampled anything. Then you've got the pH values. Again, no sampling done, so we don't know. And you've got outdated data there as well. So you've got these, which means I think that you have to regularly sample the soil, which would make a lot of sense. Nitrogen on there as well, and then you've got your yield analysis on here, which is absolutely brilliant, and then you're back to your soil types. So this is our new DLC, the Precision Farming. Your brief rundown. As I said, we can't do anything with it at the moment. We don't own any land. But once we start buying up our land, we are going to use this. This is staying in. This is going to add to aspects of this gameplay that I think will contribute to making this series acceptably hardcore for most of you. Now, we will just run over to the actual combine over here a minute. Another thing that I have done is there's a new mod on the mod hub, which basically I was using multiple missions and there was a refresh contracts mod as well, and there's a new mod on the mod hub now, or it's been out the last few weeks, that has combined the two. So I've disabled the other two, I've activated the one that's on the mod hub. It seems to be working. I haven't tried activating another mod, another mission, but there's lots of missions here. We do have the refresh contracts bit on there, so it seems to have just combined those two into one handy mod where you can get everything all in the same place. So I've got that one going as well. I don't think there was anything else that I wanted to rabbit on about just for a second. Where is my... Oh, I moved the truck, didn't I? I put the truck in town. There's my truck. That's that one there. And then we've got this stuff here at the farm. This particular mission that we're on, we have to take the stuff to the Fellsborough grain mill. And it was pointed out to me that every harvesting job, you've got to take stuff to the Fellsborough grain mill, which is fun to start with, but it quickly wears thin because you've got to catch the train for it every time. And also, if you put all of the grain into the Fellsborough grain mill, into the train and send it off, you don't get any money for the extra little bit of grain that was left over at the end of it. You don't get to benefit from that at all. Every single bit of grain just goes towards completing the contract. So you've got to kind of guess how much you need to complete the contract, send that off, and then you can sell the other grain in another location. And I don't particularly like that either, I will be honest. So I'm not sure... Unless there's a mod that does allow us to have different delivery locations other than just the Fellsborough grain mill. I mean, I get that the Fellsborough grain mill idea is a brand new idea, but I don't like that that is the only location we can go to. I'm agreeing with the people here who've mentioned that in the comments last week. I don't like it either. I really don't like the fact that that is the only place that we can deliver grain to. It sort of seems... It does break the realism a little bit. It seems quite unrealistic that you would only deliver in one place. But we'll work with it. We'll see what we can do. We will work with it a little bit. Oh! Oh my, look at that down there! Yields! Yield on this field is absolutely atrocious. We got a 50% yield and that's it. Okay, so that's the precision farming thing coming in right there. If we look on here, you don't get anything different. There's no change on this particular part of the map right there. We've got weeds, seed precision farming now for fertilizer. So it's not just 2 coats of fertilizer anymore. We've now got the precision farming bit. Same with lime. That is also seed precision farming. And then we've got needs plowing. So we've got the weeds going across the field, and we knew about that. So over onto here, we've got pH, nitrogen. So yield right there, that's telling us what we've now picked off of this field. And we've got nothing else. We've got no, unless we can do soil samples, we're not going to know about that bit. So we can kind of just leave that. And there we've hit the line of the weeds that going across the map. Although actually we've now sort of gone across most of the map with that. Weeds, they're further down now. Oh no, they're not. They sort of stopped there for a minute. They will spread further south, I reckon. Anyway, we don't need to worry about that. That's not anything that's going to particularly concern us, so we can leave that going. But it is interesting seeing that bit on the map on there, where it's coming up with that yield piece on there. That is quite interesting to watch. This is the only series that I'm going to use this precision farming DLC. I have no plans to put this into the time-lapse series, and I'm definitely not going to be putting it into the Hagenstead series. That one is not a hardcore series. That is just a kick back and relax. And this precision farming DLC is there's a lot more stuff to it. So while that one is jumping up and down in the field there, or running up and down the field, I should say, we're going to go and have a look at the new stuff that's in here. I don't even know where it is at the moment. Alpine farming, Anderson. Right. Oh, it is in here. It's under mods. Right, that's nothing to do with it. This is the one here with a soil sampling unit. You can take soil samples to have more detailed information about a field for future working steps. So that's the one that you need right there. And it's quite a small machine. So what you can do, and I quite like this because they haven't really had much that you can use it with, is it will go very tidily with one of the Mahindras that we've got here, or with the John Deere little buggy thing that we've got right here as well. Right, it will fit onto the back of one of these, or at least it does in the pictures. I don't know how it fits onto that. Mahindra, again, it's just got a small hitch there. How does it fit onto that then? Because if you look in the picture, it was definitely on there. Let's go and have a look. Let's see if there's something on here. How do you fit onto that machine? That's got 3-point linkage on it there. I don't see how that hitches onto the Mahindra. But anyway, that's the new bit right in there. And I'm just going to come out of that one a second, and I'm going to go back into the help bit right here. We go to soil sample. There, it's on there, see? It's on the back of that little John Deere one. And it says somewhere, it actually states that you can use it for that. Precision farming mod adds more realism and aspects of real farming. This is from the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, coupled with John Deere as well. They've teamed up, and that's why we've got the John Deere picture in here. And also with the RTK thing, that's a John Deere one right there. I'm confused about that. We'll see. When we've got some money, we'll see about that one, and we'll find out what's going on with that. The other thing that I wanted to have a look at... Well, unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. So while I sit up here and enjoy this view and a well-earned break, could you please consider taking a look at the links in the description down below? We have Nitrado, who provide gaming servers, who are very, very reliable, and they provide us with a server on our Discord channel. And there is also Fanatical, where you can buy all kinds of different computer games for various different platforms. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.